Joseph Taylor, and today we have Lamin Njie, one of the Fatu Network journalists. Thank you very much for giving us this. It's a very short interview. I want to talk to you about one of your pieces which you wrote. Okay. Today they mentioned about Killa Ace there. Yes. You wrote an article entitled Killa Ace's fans Storm Kanifing Court. What made you come to this headline?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Taylor. Yes, I work with the Fatu Network, and this headline, we understand Killa Ace had running with the law. He was arrested, and he was certain charges were brought against him. He was dragged to court. My journalist, when he got there, got me the facts. As a journalist, and as an editor at that, what you look at is you look at how different you can go about a story. So that is exactly what we did. Killa Ace fans stormed the wall. I'm sure you work in the media, you know how media works. So every other article that I saw was like, okay, charges brought against Killa Ace, faces fresh charges, Killa Ace this, Killa Ace that. But the headline that I think, or that I thought would make my paper sell is that is the headline that I then came with. So
then the driving factor was the headline that would sell your paper.
Exactly.
So that's what you were more interested in than actually representing what actually happened there.
I think that will be misleading, because if you look at that article, if you go into that article, you will know that all the facts were there. So to say that actually being interested are not the facts, that is misleading. That's not true.
Okay, because storming Kanifing Magistrate Court is actually something which people can be indicted for. That's a criminal offense, you know that?
Not necessarily. That's it's only someone who doesn't understand English who would think that is what that means. But storm, as in English language, doesn't necessarily mean if you storm a place, then you would be indicted. Now, that's
okay, and this was the first article that Fatu Network wrote about Killa Ace on this particular instance? Not about Killa Ace, really. But about this particular instance?
Not really. Okay. We wrote a previous article.
Okay, but can I also ask, did you present Killa Ace's own perspective? Because I have tried to...
You are not following of the event, but Killa Ace, I had an interview. I bumped into him somewhere in Senegambia. We had a chat, a very beautiful chat, and
on this particular issue.
Of course, he spoke about issues relative to this issue.
Okay, because basically, one thing which is common across the world is that people outside court cases do give press conferences. They do speak to the media, and fans can assemble peacefully.
Do you know Killa Ace even came to my studio, and he had the access, the privilege to talk to us about this. He delved into this issue. We're aware of that.
Yes, it's all a case. It's not about that. It's about the case. It's about how you present it as a media practitioner.
Yeah. That's my discussion.
I know.
The only problem is if the article didn't have the facts, then there will be a problem. But if you look at that part, all the people making noise about this, no one would tell you that the facts were not in that article. Okay. So it will be very unfair to attack us simply because of a headline. Headlines are headlines.
I'm not attacking you.
Once you have all the facts in an article, then that suffices in journalism, standard journalism practice.
Because what is clearly important here is you've highlighted that it is important for you to sell your papers. Yeah. So this is important. We have to, as media practitioners, we have it's a bread and butter game for us. We have to sell papers, but we also have to balance the facts.
That's what I'm saying. No one is complaining about
the interviewer today, and you are normally the interviewer. I know. So, but it's difficult to be in this position.
I know. But I am okay. I'm perfectly fine in this position.
Because of the reason why I say that within all your text of this particular article, nowhere does it say that people are actually storming the Kanifing? You talk about that they gathered around the Kanifing Magistrate Court.
Didn't they do that?
That is very civil.
Didn't they do that?
That is not.
But that is the facts that I'm talking about. But those are what you have in this story, my brother.
It doesn't mention anything about storming.
I think the truth is, I think some of us are confusing ourselves, and I know because listen, people, there is no doubting that lovers of Killa Ace, fans, if you like, you know, mobilized each other and went to the court. And when they got there, they wielded placards. They had placards with messages. Everybody, this was everywhere. You wouldn't doubt that.
And that equals storming the court. That's what I'm trying to.
When you say
but those
storm,
placards
when you say storm, they displayed placards outside the court.
Thank you.
So when you say
so outside the court,
yes,
they displayed placards outside the court, not storming the court. So you see, this is the important point here. This is the point that I want to highlight. Am I not being fair to you?
No, I don't think you are being fair to me, to my media organization. You are not being fair because you know why?
Because if they had gone in with their placards, had they gone in with their placards, had they come into the court with their placards, I would agree with you. Yes. Maybe they stormed the court. Yeah. But this was not true.
But they came with placards.
Yes, outside the court. And your headline said
that is where
they stormed
that is the angle. That is the angle that I took. And that is the angle that I thought as an innovative journalist. That is what you look at. You don't just go and talk and discuss or report about issues just for reporting's sake. Okay. You have to be innovative. You have to be creative about this job. That is what journalism is. But in as much as you have to be innovative, you have to be creative. You have to be, when it comes to objectivity, you have to be as objective as possible. All the facts. If you look at the Killa Ace story, there is no Killa Ace fan that I know who would come to my office and say, "Oh, the Killa Ace story, the facts were not there, were missing." Okay. All the facts were there, my brother.
I'm very
and then I know why you people are angry. The Killa Ace fans, I know why you are angry because you know why? Okay. You know why? I read it somewhere.
I'm not angry.
People
I wrote a rejoinder.
When I wrote, yes, I saw that. When
I wrote a rejoinder on this article.
Just allow me to learn. Allow me to learn. When this happened, I know why the Killa Ace fans are angry and frustrated because you know why? When we wrote this story was not in their favor. A lot of people started reacting, saying that these are a bunch of, idle people, useless, jobless people. That is why you are attacking me.
No,
that is the only
reason. I'm not attacking you. In my rejoinder, when you read it, no, let's be fair.
In my rejoinder, I think I saw it fleetingly.
Let's be fair.
That is why
in my rejoinder, it never attacked you. And you talk about objectivity. This is the last two questions and we will finish. Yeah. First of all, I agree with you entirely about creativity. I employ all these skills in my writing.
Then you shouldn't have a problem with
but then you've been speaking, my friend. You've been interviewing. I'm the interviewer. Come on, let's be fair. Well, what I'm trying to say is sensationalism is something that we should avoid. Yes? Sensationalism is something that we should avoid, but within the premise of creativity, it's allowed. But you talk about objectivity, and I will make this my last question. The chronology of information coming out about Killa Ace issue is clear. It started off with Killa Ace himself putting pictures of his injuries out there in the media, which hinted out, which was the first tip-off about the case of Killa Ace. And when I searched through all your Fatu Network articles about Killa Ace, I have seen nothing. You talk about objectivity.
Let me tell you something.
And we talk about reporting the both sides. Do you feel that my question, you are not answering a question yet. My question is, you haven't presented none of those images of his injuries, these own statements that he brought out. How can you tell us that you were objective?
Let me say this. First, I wouldn't want to go into the nitty-gritty of the Killa Ace issue.
You're a young man as well, you know.
Since
and a journalist who could be subjected to the same problems.
You asked me a question. Okay. In as much as, listen, what I had on my desk, and when Killa Ace came to my office, that is what I told him. The police, when they issued their press release, they sent it out. They sent it to all the media organizations. Killa Ace went to his personal whatever. I don't know where he went to and posted whatever story that he has. I didn't see that at the time of going to press with regard to the press release, the police press release. That is. Well, you can always have your opportunity to also. No, I'm saying you can in the case of Killa Ace, you can also always have your opportunity to come and also give your story. And when that happened, Killa Ace walked into my office. He had an interview with my journalist on this issue. And again, I was in the Senegambia area. I saw Killa Ace. I told my cameraman, you know what? Oh, this is Killa Ace. Let me talk to him. I said, okay. The guy said, okay. I met him. We shook hands. I said, well, listen, I want us to talk, man. I gave him the platform. Again, he spoke about some of the things that we went through
All these things, he said it there. So that is about being objective. That is about being impartial. That is what we are doing. So I think, I mean, people have to be fair to us. You know, we are doing, if you come to my news media organization, we don't sideline anybody. Everyone, you go to my news media organization, everyone is equal. That is how we see everybody. Impartiality. That is #1 objective.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
That is what I want.
The media, the last word I want to make on this is that
I need
finally,
to what he's saying,
let me land. The last thing that I want to say is that this is a bigger issue. The media has a role to perform in highlighting reforms that need to be held onto the security personnel. Killa Ace's issue is an area where it highlights a huge discussion point we need to be having. Is the police has they gone through the right reforms yet? What is the media's role in highlighting some of the injustices that Killa Ace has highlighted when he was in prison? People have been held there for over 7 days. What is the media doing in highlighting some of these issues? This is not about Killa Ace. This is about something bigger than Killa Ace. And this is about the reform agenda and the transition which our children need. Thank you very much. You're listening to Guynako News. This is Yusuf Taylor, Flex Down. Guardianship and independence. Thank you very much.